Hi, welcome back to Unique Minds of the Okanagan. I'm Robb O'Day, and we are on location in Revelstoke with Jacob of Gürth. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, Rob.
Thanks for having me here.
Thanks for being here.
Let's dive right into it.
Booyah.
Where are you from? How did you get into music? How long have you been a musician?
I was born in Trail, but moved to Revelstoke in like 2001, so I've done most of my life here, but Revelstoke's home. And I've been playing music since I was, a kid. With like my grandparents and stuff, because they always had music instruments kicking around and stuff, and they were always just there for me to pick up and play. And then come being a teenager, I really fell in love with the sound of bass guitar and stuff, and I've always just wanted to play bass and fell in love with it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Bassists, you don't find people wanting to be bassists often. And I always wonder why, because bass is such an incredible instrument.
It really is.
It's highly underrated, and you have to have a special ear to be able to hear it. There's not like most people can hear a guitar, and
yeah, you get pretty attuned to like listening for that bass line under the rest of the song and like picking out the night. Yeah.
Yeah, and to find a good bass player it's like trying to find a good politician. You know what I mean? Like it's almost impossible. And there's bass players are. There's something about a good bass player that is just like, there's like our bass player, Norm, for example.
Yeah.
The dude is just a slap machine in metal, and you're like, what are you doing? It's like, you should just, but he's like, bump at the bump, and you're like, yes.
It's
like,
really cool with the slap in the metal, man. Like Suicidal Tendencies did a lot of that, and I fell in love with the slap bass in metal, and like, yeah.
Who got you in as a bass player? Who is the one that you were drawn to?
My first concert I went to was Rush, and it was probably just seeing Geddy Lee right away, and like, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And yeah, so.
Geddy Lee is, that is next level as a musician. What do you play? What's your choice? Your weapon of choice?
For my bass, I always gig on the court that I have because it's my nice beater bass and that kind of thing, but I love my Fender at home. I've got a jazz bass that I love playing. The fretboard's real nice on that, and like I've got a BC Ridge Warlock and like a couple other like basses and stuff like that. I've got an 8-string that's a lot of fun to play, the double strung, and like, but the
How big is the neck on that?
It's pretty big.
I can imagine it's like that, bro. That's
It's girthy.
crazy. Yeah, it's girthy. You should be playing that full time. That would be the bass for it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, as the bass player for Gürth, you get to play with toms a ton.
Oh.
And it adds this tribal aspect. So I'm enjoying the aspect that I get to break down from the rhythm section and head to the melodies and the vocals. So it's a really cool progression. So how was your experience so far with joining the band and building yourself into a team that has had a 15-year connection? How long have you been playing with them for?
I've been playing with Garrett and Jesse for almost 5 years now, kind of thing. And like, yeah, coming in, they were real good already, and I feel like I hopped in nice and strong, but they definitely showed me a lot, and it was really awesome to play with them. Garrett's an amazing drummer, and Jesse's really good with describing everything and like getting it down, and yeah, very happy to be with them.
I love it. It's hard to find people that you sync well with. You can be in a band with so many different people and just play music, and there's just something about finding that one team, whether it's one person or two, are being able to sync up, like I was saying earlier, and just that telepathical connection that you have as a band. I love diving into it because I don't think it's talked about a lot. Unless you're a musician, it's very subconscious and it's underlined. No one talks about it though, but like, if you want to know that telepathy exists, join a band. Spend 5 years working with a band members or
You'll know
jamming.
what they're thinking before they're thinking it.
Yeah, almost more than like if you were married and your wife is like, I know you're about to be an idiot, don't do it. You know what I mean? So like, there is a very weird syncopicity between bands and bandmates, but drummers and bass players specifically.
Yeah.
That I don't think a lot of people really like. They hear the drum and the bass and it's like, yeah, it's drum and bass. it's drum and bass.
Yeah.
That is what music is. Like, the end of the day, that is when you're tapping your foot and you're following along, you're most likely not listening to the guitar.
My favorite thing is watching people dancing and moshing around and stuff when we're playing and stuff, and like, it's really awesome knowing that they're fucking dancing around to us. And like,
So from
love it.
Yeah.
Love being that drive behind that. And
You're from Trail.
yes.
Wow. How was growing up in Trail as a musician? I know the area is extremely metal oriented.
So, like, I moved out here when I was like a child,
Oh,
kind of
okay.
thing. So like, I never really had any experience with that scene kind of thing, but like, I definitely knew it was there because like the uncle still lived out there and shit, and it was really cool just
My
to
cousins were out
come
there.
and visit and go and see.
My cousins were from Castlegar.
Oh, booyah.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know the region.
Yeah, we
It's-
used to live in Fruitvale.
Yeah, exactly,
so, like,
right?
That whole
So,
strip of towns.
It's so metal oriented, and like they were like the battle jackets, long hair, like Mass Slayer, and, like the metal.
very
heads.
thrasher there.
Yeah, and it's a totally different atmosphere in the Kootenays, in like Castlegar Trail region. It's so funny that you're from there too, because like it is like, if you're from the Kootenays, there are like specific families that are like hilarious that you know about. We won't go into talking about them, but they're amazing. And there's like, the music scene is just, it's so Kootenay that it's
Really?
like you have to be there to understand it. So it's funny that you're from there, because like I grew up in Castlegar every other summer. So
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know,
That's
you're
a great
just like,
spot. And
it is metal. It is
Really?
so filthy metal there that it's just like, yeah, there's nothing better to do than just thrash.
love it.
What got you into being, besides like growing up with Rush, but what got you into being into progressive metal? Because from Rush is obviously progressive metal, but what was like,
It was kind of funny because it's been all over the map, where like it went from Rush to like Killswitch Engage and Lamb of God, and like it varied over the years, where it started with progressive and kind of worked its way back into it, which
Okay.
was funny. But
do you guys work in odd time signatures?
Garrett loves to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So so when you're writing, do you find it difficult sometimes to sync up when it's a different time signature and you're trying to create this between the guitar and the drums, and they're doing their own things to like create your own identity within the music?
I like that challenge of trying to find that rhythm in there and making a nice bass line to complement everything in there, and really like, yeah. When Garrett's coming up with these drum beats, it's so much fun to just try and come up with something behind it. And
Because being a three-piece is not easy, especially metal, because like you two got to carry a lot as well, but then you've got Jesse who has to carry the melodies and the vocals, and it's like, as a vocal guitar player, I know how difficult that can be. So you have to have like an Andy and a Norm. Like for me, it's Andy and Norm, my bass player and my drummer. They are the backbone. It doesn't matter what other guitar players in the band or what other vocalists, like they're always my back. They're my backbone and my rock when I'm playing. And like, I know I can, whether I mess up a string or if I mess up a chord or if I'm forgetting lyrics, they're always subconsciously there to just like, okay, we need to add a fill here, or like quick pause, go in. And it's just like, it's this weird connection with the backing of a band that, like I was saying, people don't really understand or appreciate. And then until you see bands like Rush, right, where it's like the three-piece, they work so perfectly together. And I think that trio is what's missing in music a lot in metal, especially metal, because you always have to have the lead guitar player or
you
the
see a lot of
vocalist.
5-pieces and stuff,
And yeah, like I'm in a 4-piece, and like I love being in a 4-piece, and I love having Josh be in the band because he's added so much to it. But there's something different from when it was Storm the Empire with the three of us, and it was harder than it is now, right? Like now it's like I almost get to relax because I have a second guitar player.
Exactly,
and I'm like,
you can have those moments.
yeah, like I can let myself shine for a moment, and the whole band
Exactly.
can shine at the same time. So with the 3-piece, it's definitely like you don't have to have that spot because you all have your spot.
Yeah.
Like, you all fill it perfectly, like Farm. Exactly. Like, that's why I find it cool that you guys play with Farm, because it's a perfect band. And was one of the bands I was going to suggest you guys play with. So it's like perfect that I'm like, yeah, it's like perfect band.
It's a really good time.
So like, there's so many bands within that area too, within Kelowna, that have that genre, that are just like this niche pocket. And that's so many. Like we were talking earlier, Ninja Spy is another really niche band out of BC.
Absolutely love them.
Right? And they are the first band I ever opened up for.
Oh, hot damn. That's really cool.
So the Pasties, our very first actual show was with DFY, and Ninja Spy was our headliner, and we played with them like 16 times since. After
sick.
Like they're growing up with them was like, to watch them go from like small shows to watching Adam playing with Michael Graves at Whack-In, and like I get goosebumps thinking about it.
Be there
like,
for the whole journey.
That's one of my people that I've always loved, like as a drummer. I'm like, Adam is insane for how skilled he is. And then you have Tim, and then you've got Joel, but like to watch one of your friends get to play drums for one of your favorite singers and be like, I've watched you grow from nothing to that, like, yes, dude, thank you. Because like we gotta embrace our friends' successes too.
Oh, of course.
And I think, especially being metal musicians, we're so hard on that. It's like, oh, you came out with a new album, I'm listening to it. I don't want to know if it's good or better than me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's this weird thing with metal musicians where it's like we've constantly got this competition with our friends that it's like we forget to embrace their successes.
Yeah.
And like their successes make us successful, because like if Farm blows up and you guys have played with them, you know what I mean? Like that's gonna, down the road, they're gonna be like, oh, these guys have played with Farm, or we've got to play with Farm. It's that workmanship between friends and bands, and I think that our scene in BC since COVID, because it's coming out of this like weird pandemic where nobody was working with each other, that it's kind of like stuck with that, and it's really difficult to push that wall back and start like breaking it down so that the bands are working with each other again to build this strong scene.
Yeah.
Because like, for example, like I'm trying to get out here with us because I'd love to play out here, but it's because it's so far away from where we are and not being able to like network with bands out here. It's like, who do you play with? So luckily Jesse reached out, and now I'm like, I've got homies in Revelstoke who play. And so it's like, that's what you need to do as musicians. It's like, you can't just like expect to book a show in Alberta and anybody know who you are.
Yeah.
You got to be friends and you got to work with each other. And I think that the genre you guys are in, specifically the progressive metal genre that is in BC, is very tight-knit and friendly. They all work together. They're willing to bring in new people because they are kind of like that off sect of the metal group. That's not really like, kind of like my buddy and me in a hip hop group. We're not accepted by the hip hop guys, but we still do it. But it's like progressive metal is very niche. But like I was saying earlier, like with Polyphia becoming huge, and like it's becoming the most popular music now. It's becoming
really
a lot more popular.
Oh yeah, man.
And I think that we steered away from being it and trying to keep like that basic, like what's the heaviest thing we can write for the last like 4 years has been like a very
opposed to like what the craziest thing you can write is.
Yeah, versus like making symphonies again.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
And that's what progressive music is. And I think that, like, do you have music theory or are you self-taught?
I am self-taught.
I was gonna say there is a weird connection between self-taught musicians and prog music, and then there's the ones who are taught theory tend to go towards jazz, but like there's this weird thing. Prog is like the spiritual network of music genres, if that's the easiest way for me to say it. It is like if you were to be have this religious experience, you'd be listening to prog, versus like other songs are like, oh, like.
I find it one of the easiest genres to write and actually put full emotion into, and like actually full dive into.
Because there's no limits.
There's no limits at all. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how Jesse does with, when I ask him like about lyrics, because lyrics in prog is one thing that I have a really hard time with. Because we do progressive metalcore, so it's like trying to create. That's what I love about prog music mainly, is that you're trying to create the next thing. You're not just like sticking to what's popular. Because I find that a lot of bands nowadays are sticking to the structure that sells. So, you know, like screaming at the beginning, straight into a chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, pause, heavy breakdown, drop into the same thing, and they've all got the same call outs, and it's like, it just sounds the same. And then you find prog is just like the golden flowers
Really.
of music, right? Like
They shine amongst the rest, for sure.
yeah, and I think it's just like trying to get that out there, like, as BC's prog scene is fabulous, and it needs to be like seen more. So it's cool to see that there's bands from every little pocket
Yeah.
of the interior that have, I don't want to say like the same style, but like there's like this mental connection that's like out to the universe, and it's like if your antennas can pick it up,
global
you get it.
consciousness.
Yeah, and it is, and it's slowly adding as musicians, and I think that's like a beautiful thing, but it's almost like frustrating because I just want it to happen now, and I'm just like tired of waiting for like the good music to be appreciated. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, because I'm tired of like pop music being so popular, and it's like we don't need 14-year-old girls singing about breakups. We need to like life experience. It's kind of what we need in life. So prog is really good with that, but I think, like, do you listen to bands like Leech? Have you ever heard Leech?
I've never heard Leech.
Or Mogwai?
No.
Dive into them. So they're these Irish instrumental bands. I want to say Mogwai is more like indie,
Gotcha.
like MGMT without lyrics.
Sounds right up my alley.
And then Leech is like if Tool had a baby with a perfect circle, met, I don't even know, the clean stuff from Opeth, like
word.
Windows pane and stuff, and you put that all together, and it's like Leech, like they have this one album, I'll find it for you after, and it's like an hour-long album with 6 songs, and you put it on from beginning to end, and by the time you hit it, you're just like, I just had a religious experience.
It's my favorite way to ingest an album.
Yeah.
It's just one end to the other.
With you guys working on your album, do you find that it's the experience of sitting down and actually writing a full album? Because you guys are, how many songs are you doing?
I think it's 13 on
Yeah,
this
so
one.
full length.
Yeah.
It's a big, that's a big project. And is there a theme to the album? Being a prog band, I'm assuming there's some
There
theme.
is a theme that's very centered on like loss and everything, and yeah, I know Garrett definitely knows a lot more. What he's doing a lot of the lyrics and stuff for the album, and yeah, it's got some heavy tones and
See, and that's what I think is what is needed nowadays, because I think that as like the whole goal of a musician is to write something that connects to people,
yeah,
and it's with progressive music, it's very emotional based. Like, yeah, it's like, oh, we're technical and listen to the skill factor, but it is very like Leech is very emotional. It's a religious experience when you're listening to it. Yeah, it's got screams and stuff that a lot of people don't like screaming, but if you can get past that for 2 seconds, just hear the message, you know what I mean? Like, you can hear the pain, you can hear the struggle, but you can also hear like the motivation behind it. And like, lyrics are a hard thing.
they are.
And lyrics with writing an album, so writing a full album with a theme in modern day is almost crazy to do, because people don't want to hear albums anymore. But we just dropped our album, and I can see the numbers are steady for every song, so it's like there are still those album lovers.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's such a beautiful thing to create a whole album, and to not give it that appreciation of like front to back is like such a disservice to the musicians, you know?
Honestly.
So, and as you're working on your album, do you find that as you're working on it as a group and you're finally getting to see what you've created like in front of you, see, I haven't had master tracks yet, so like you're not going to have the final product, but like getting to see, it's like the baby steps of your child.
Oh,
right? Like
exactly.
the first step, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, they're out of diapers, and now they're in school. It's like, how has that experience been as for you personally?
It's been very fulfilling. Like everything's really awesome and like coming together super awesome. And I love starting to record something and being like, oh, we could tweak this a little bit here and like make a little change and come up with something new for that one little part or something. Like it's a lot of fun doing it that way and really driving home what you want to make the song sound like. And
do you guys write the songs all together, like sitting down, or does Jesse come up with an idea or you come up with an idea? And
it's usually one of us coming in with an idea and then something like we'll play off of that with each other kind of thing and find it together there. But yeah,
it's the same way with us. We're starting to now like sit down and write as a group, but I find like it's not the same. It's kind of a weird thing because like working together as a group is different than like coming up with ideas. But creating that album is like, it's your baby. And you were saying you're 8 songs in, I believe, of the 13?
Roughly.
Roughly?
Roughly.
That's insane. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm just like, that's a lot of work. Especially, like, what you guys have created,
It has
too.
been a lot.
Like, we're sitting in a space that they created, which is mind-blowing to me. Like, I wish Kelowna had something like this, where it was, like, you could rent and build and, like, it's what's missing. I think, not being from Revelstoke and, like, being from Penticton and, like, coming to visit, like, maybe every 5 years, and once in a while, just on tour, like, getting to come and meet the people. This is why I love the job, is because, like, these magic little areas have always been, like, my favorite spot for art.
Oh, yeah.
Like, little locations, and not like it's like Revelstoke's decent size, but it's like you wouldn't think that there's a music scene in Revelstoke, you know what I mean? Because it's a sports snowboarding capital of BC in my mind, you know what I mean? Like, you can't beat it. And in the summertime, it's like so much more to do. It's like, but like one of the guys we were going to interview today is like, music every night. He's like, yeah, go out tonight, there's going to be music. And I'm like, what?
At the plaza?
We're quite literally fighting to try and get music every night because we only have 2 venues that are willing to do it.
Oh,
it's
dang.
Like,
yeah, well, they do it right downtown.
There's tons of music going on downtown, but it's mostly at like wineries and bars and stuff. But it's like our demographic in Kelowna is very singer-songwriter because it is like upsy fancy wineries and bars and
it's the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's the neighborhood. And like the 2 venues we have are both pizza places, and they're shout out to them both. They're both amazing, but like we need a music venue, right? Like, and I think that's what's lacking in BC big time. And like each little area is like I always preach about it. I sound like a preacher, but like an all ages venue where we can just like set up shows and go play, and kids don't have to worry about being like 19. Because how are you supposed to inspire a new generation if we can only appeal to people who are of age?
Yeah.
So, as musicians, it's like, that's the waters we tread, is like, which way do you want to go? Do you want to be a bar band? Do you want to be festival band? Do you want to...
Yeah.
I just want to write music. Like, that's how I feel, and enjoying writing albums. And like, I'm almost envious that you guys have a 13-song album. It's like, how... During the writing process, for you personally, what was the most difficult aspect?
That's a tough one. The most difficult.
Like, what's been the most challenging thing for you to overcome while writing the album?
It's a very tough question. Probably just finding some like nice techniques to actually like get some like proper like scales out and stuff in between, like getting some nice riffs and everything, and like getting that dialed in was a little tough at first, playing that fast, because like I came in from a punk band, so we would do a lot of just like regular punk songs and like
4 chords and really fast.
And so
harmonies,
it was a big step coming in and trying to make those work and everything, and
love it.
It's probably transitioning from being a punk bass player to getting into the metal more, and
that's funny. That's like our drummer. He's he likes to call himself a funk bass player, but he like down the leads is noise rock, like noise rock, noise punk, noise metal. But like Andy's joined our band to push himself as a metal drummer. So he had no,
Yeah.
like, he never did double kick before. So
Oh,
now he's
dang.
like trying to learn how to do like blast beats and stuff. And you're like, you can see how hard it is to like learn a new style when you've focused on one for so long, right?
Oh yeah.
Like for years, you hit the distortion button, I'm playing metal. No, there's a big difference between chugging with distortion and playing metal.
Yeah.
And for years I fooled myself thinking I was a metal guitar player by doing that chugging. And it wasn't until recently where like one day the fretboard just clicked.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like looking at it and knowing what sounds good, but one day it was just like, I understand that this is this now, and it's like the theory just happened. And I've never been taught theory, I'm self-taught as well. And it's like, I feel being a self-taught musician, especially playing prog, is very difficult. Because like, does Jesse have theory?
A lot more than me.
Okay, so yeah, see, like Norm knows theory. So Norm's like, I'm playing an A, and I'm like, what fret? What string? I'm a rookie here,
I've come a long way from that, but I definitely struggled a lot with that back in the day.
Just trying to
get
so like ear
theory notes to frets and stuff, and like learning with tablature, and then going to be like, all right, this song's A, D, F, G, and like that was a big step.
I still don't know that. I have no clue what any of my songs are in. I know it's in drop C and drop A, and I know where my hands go. That's kind of like, I'm very like, I like to joke like I'm totally a juvenile guitar player. Like I have no clue what I'm doing. I just play guitar. I feel like I am a drummer, so I play very percussive. So I play like a bass player, just with a pick, right?
Yeah.
So like this is my hi-hat and this is my snare, and that's how I look at when I play guitar. So I'm like very syncopated with hammer-ons and pull-offs versus like bar chords and stuff. So it's very, Andy loves it because it gives him the ability to just like polyrhythm wherever he wants. And then Norm's hearing these polyrhythms and he's like, oh, I can fit my polyrhythm there. And then all of a sudden all of us are playing 3 different polyrhythms and you're like, man, we're making prog right now. And that right there is magic. And that is what we all look for, right? And it's like finding those members that you can work well with and like bounce off each other, and like the moments in like jamming too, when it's like, oh, what did we do? What did we just do? We need to stop, rewind. What did we just do?
Those are special moments.
Like you guys are lucky to have the fact that you can record jams and go back and like have the producer too that's there that like backs you guys and is like, that was deadly. We need to redo that. And I think that I was talking with Dakota is like building your team for your band. Like you know you have the sound. You guys clearly have the sound. You have the connection, and like building that team is like the best thing you can do before expanding out. So having like those friends that are so dedicated to knowing your music is going to get out there that they're willing to like do anything for you, and you make that your manager, and they're helping push you. So then you teach them how to do your bookings, and then all of a sudden you guys can focus back onto the music. And it's just like you build this team around you, and it slowly happens. And that's like that 10-year grind, right? Like once you hit the 10-year mark, you realize like the team that's built around you, and then you take them with you and just keep going.
Exactly.
And it sounds like from the way you guys work musically and seeing you guys like blend in the studio is like you definitely have that like brotherhood, you know what I mean? And it's like it's difficult walking into that connection too, right? Because like a lot of people have that with our band where Norm and I have been friends since we were 5 and we're 35 now, so we're like 30 years of friendship is really hard to like walk in on.
Exactly, man.
And Andy just magically did it, and Josh just magically did it.
Hells
and it's like those people that happens for a reason.
Oh yeah, I was very grateful that like I've blended in quite well, because like Jesse and Garrett have been going for 15, 16 years together. So like 5 years ago coming in, it was that big step coming in and fit in great.
I think it's cool though, because you came from punk, so it's a total different mentality of music and mindset to like. I don't want to say it's like leveling up as a musician, but like punk is like we have our increments. Like it's usually start with like our classic rock, then we moved to punk, and then we moved to metal, like Megadeth, Metallica, Lamb of God, and like we graduate, and as we grow older as musicians, and I feel prog is where we all eventually are slowly getting to now. And it's kind of weird to think about, because like 5-10 years ago, like no one cared about prog. No one cared. There was no one who was like, yeah, that's cool music. Like, they're like, Rush is awesome. And you're like, thanks. You're like, what about Between the Bird and Me? Like, there's so many good bands out there.
There's a lot of really good prog bands.
And that's the thing, is like, your influences kind of create you, but you being self-taught, I think leads you to being like a different road. Like, there's self-taught and there's theory-taught musicians, and I heavily agree that self-taught create the best music, because you can't be put in that box with theory, or it sticks, you stay to that box. And everyone I know who knows theory inside and out sticks to that box, and they can't find themselves to break out of it. So being self-taught, I think, is a very beneficial thing in music, because it's emotion.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially being a bass player. Like, that's the soul. Bass is soul. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have a soulless bass player. Have you ever met a soulless bass player? They're all amazing people. They all have great energy. They're all high energy, and usually the face of the band, because they're like the ones who want to party and have fun. And like Norm, he's the face of the band. I'm the singer, but I'm not
always
the
dancing
bass.
around hard on stage and bringing the energy.
And it's just, I think that's like that natural, like, trying to think of what the word is, of what bass would be, but it's like, it's the water. If we were all in elements, you know, like drums would be earth, bass is water, guitar, vocals are air, and fire is the guitar or the melody. Like, they all blend so perfectly, but like, something about water that's just like, it's flowy, you can't beat it. And bass is, it's natural in our soul. It's kind of, that's music, it's just a weird thing. And as you guys have pushed through your album, and you have 5 or 6 songs left, is there a goal for after? Are you guys planning to do a tour, or are you planning to do an album release?
An album release would, the album release is for sure. Yeah, definitely an album release. It's like a big show, and like, I really want to do a tour and go through Western Canada and stuff. And
have you ever toured before?
No, this would be my first, so I'm really excited to finish the album and
get out there,
buckle down on that. And
touring's a whole other experience. That's like, I always say, like, you build your band, and then you record with your band, and it kind of like, you see who works well in that situation. But touring is when you really realize like how hard it is to be a band. Like, that's when you're like hating on each other for days, and you're just like, I hate you, and you're like, at the end of the day, like, play this, finally get to the show, you play, and you're like, I love you, man. And it's like, that's the difficult things, and that's like the relationship that you have to build, and you kind of have to go through the crappy times as a band to make it through.
To find those gems and those good times. And
and even those shitty times and those bad times end up actually becoming the things you laugh about. Like, down the road, like the only memories of tour I can remember are all the times that I had really bad things happen, like tires blowing and things like that. I don't remember any of the good moments that are like on stage, because you're so focused performing, right? Like, you don't think about performances when you're on stage. It's the funny moments, like the dumb things that happen on the road, right? And tour is, I know that you guys will be going, like, around, like, we'll be helping to get shows going, but I just, like, I'm curious to see, especially in Kelowna, because Farm does really well. Like, Kelowna is a farm town, man. Like, everybody goes out to a farm show. We all love them.
It's so fun.
And it's the prog. Everyone loves prog in Kelowna, because we're actually getting, like, you can see it at the shows, like, the numbers are declining for deathcore, metalcore. It's all prog shows, though. Like, they're just
staying strong.
Always. And Penticton wants it, and it's like, there is this huge market for it. It's just the fans. There's a market for other bands to go watch it. You know what I mean? It's like, how do we connect prog? And that's what I was talking earlier about, like, video games. Like, perfect place to put your guys' music. Because, like, how many times have you been playing video games like back in the day, like Doom or something, and they got this epic metal in the background?
It's been a lot of times I've played some games and found new bands to listen to and shit. And
Right,
like,
exactly.
yeah.
So like, I think that would be like, especially like being a prog band, I feel like that would be the best way for you guys to go, is getting out in that aspect, because like, it's not slowing down.
No.
That industry is not ever going to slow down, just like music industry.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can, this is like the little moments that I'm like, I just want to see the BC music scene thrive, because
It deserves to thrive.
the amount of magic that is hiding in this province versus the rest of Canada is unbelievable.
It's awesome.
There's no shortage of talent that is here. There's a shortage of eyes, because
Really?
we only have 7 million people within BC, and 4 million of that is Vancouver and the surrounding area.
Exactly.
So we have, what, 3 million between
Just
the rest of
spread out
BCs, and
over
it's
everywhere.
so spread out, so that it's like, it's very difficult for BC bands to be heard. And that's why I'm thankful like Spirit Box is getting out, and
Oh, yeah.
bands like that, because now it's opening up this whole other market where people are like, wait a second. Like, you have to, you can only turn your back on metal for so long before it's like, it's
Yeah.
right in your face, and you gotta embrace it. It's like every other music. Rock was hated.
Yeah.
Jazz was hated for a long time, you know what I mean?
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's a goal as musicians to like constantly be creating what's best for us. But do you find that it's hard? Do you ever find that you guys try to write or feel forced to write a specific style that you're like, because it's prog? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like, does
I
that,
mean, kind of. Like, not really. No, we kind of just like write what we want to write for that song and like that track kind of thing, like what it needs for what we're hearing. And like we have a lot with like some really heavy hip hop influences and parts and like stuff like that like, yeah.
It's awesome.
I don't feel like we are restrained to that prog, but like I know we definitely live there.
Yeah, yeah, like, yeah, I think you get what I'm saying, because it's definitely hard, because like prog is like the spectrum. Like there's so many different
Yeah.
aspects within that genre alone that it's like, there are specific things that make prog, not just like because it's progressive music, but because it's like off time signatures and weird syncopicities that are just like, you know, polyrhythms. But I find sometimes like when I'm writing prog, it's just like I feel like I'm getting stuck in this, like I need to write off time signatures, or
Oh,
like
yeah.
it needs to be more this specific style, and it's like, just write music that you enjoy.
Exactly.
That is like, because at the end of the day, that's all you need to do. Like there's no point in trying to fake it, and that's like, it's a lot of fake in the industry right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, don't fake it, just be you. Besides music, what kind of hobbies do you have?
I definitely love being outdoors. I do a lot of paddleboarding and like lake activities like that.
Cool.
And then like I love like just hanging out at home in the hammock reading and stuff, and yeah.
Nice. You're a reader.
Yeah.
What kind of books do you like?
I'm reading a lot of fantasy stuff right now. I'm back on Terry Pratchett's Discworld series and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love fantasy books.
I love fantasy books.
Yeah.
Like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, like all that stuff when I was a kid, just yeah.
It makes sense when you see that you play prog, right? Because it is definitely like, those two go hand in hand, is like
Yeah.
fantasy fans and progressive metal and metal in general. And I think it's like, I want to say it's not like an intelligence thing, but I think like people who are heavily educated and read lots of books and like historically, you know, like they're the
Yeah.
history people, they tend to gravitate towards metal because it has this like, you know, like there's tons of metal bands that talk about historical aspects, and like the music itself, it's like most metal comes from Europe. That is
Yeah.
very inspiring, and it's like, that is where black metal came from. But like symphonic metal is like medieval metal. There's so many cool genres in Europe that we don't have here.
Oh yeah, man.
That we're almost scared to write.
Right.
Because it's like, it's not our culture, You know what I mean? Like, we can't write Viking metal because we're not Vikings, we're Canadians. Like, we're
like,
chilling with igloos and polar bears. But like, but like culturally, metal is insane.
It really is.
But then you got to think of like, what is our cultural metal? Like, what is the BC or the Canadian cultural metal? Like, what do they hear when we hear like their music? We're like, oh, this is Swedish metal. I can tell right away. Like, I wonder what Canadian, like, because we can't hear it. It's like trying to hear our own accent, right? We can't hear it. So like, what does our distinct sound like? I've always wondered that. I've always wondered that, right? Like, it's one question that I'm like, oh, I wish I could ask a guy from like Germany or something, but like you couldn't really get the translation through properly, or like you just wouldn't. Like, there's something there that is just like, I love. You can tell a band is from BC. Like, you can tell a band is from BC. You just came back from AMF, and you can tell. Like, I guarantee I could list off 3 bands right now and tell you they're BC, and you'd be like, I could tell. And just because of what they write, and that is like, it's when you start to play with bands across the country too, and you slip their little influences in too, it's really cool, because then it's like, Ontario's got a wicked style. They're like that old school deathcore, and like it's heavy and technical. It's like tech metal. And then you come to like Saskatchewan, and Saskatchewan's got like this really trippy prog sound, but it's also thrash. And Alberta is very deathcore, and it's just like each province has its own sound. But I'm like, I've heard them all, and BC seems to be the most unique, and I think it's because we're all hippies at heart. We're hippies who make metal, which is a really weird, really weird balance, right? Like,
it is.
Most people aren't hippies, so I find it mildly entertaining that, like, for example, Ninja Spy, we were talking about them. You want to hear uniquely diverse band, reggae metal,
their entire
reggae progressive metal
is just phenomenal.
It is absolutely insane. And then you listen to like SOS, and the breakdown is like the sludgiest actual SOS calls, like da 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 da. And you're just like, wait a second, that's like legit SOS. It took me a while to clue into that, but it's like,
oh, dude, they go into that riff with the dial tone.
I know, it's so like, cool, but it's like, how do you even think about putting progressive metal with reggae? I like, still to this day, I'll never understand how the 3 of them as brothers were just like, this is what we make. And like, it worked.
It works.
Nobody else could do it.
Yeah.
Nobody else could do it. Like, I don't even think, like, I love Skin Dread, but like, I don't even think they pull it off as well as Ninja Spy does. Like, there is no one who can do metal reggae as good as them, and except for this one band that I'm seeing coming up now. They're online, and they like have these videos, but like, who would even think of that? That is a BC band. Like, that is a BC thing. Nobody else would do that. No one across Canada would think about mixing those 2 genres. And that's why I love like where we are and the music that comes out of BC, and like being able to like branch out and get to meet bands that are from like here. You guys, like Revelstoke, is like, to hear that there's prog metal coming out of Revelstoke, I'm like, what else is hiding in this gem of Revelstoke? Because this place is beautiful. The people, everyone we've met here has been incredible, and it's like, how can we build a massive scene here? Because it's like the perfect crossroads to be putting on shows.
It would be. Vancouver, like Kamloops to Calgary, stop in here. And
everywhere.
Like,
and this is like, it quite literally is like the perfect place. Like, as I'm looking and I'm booking tours for bands, I'm like, I just want to route to Revelstoke and go through, and it's and I think it's because it is like, it's hard to expand out, so you're kind of only
we're kind of stuck in the valley.
And it makes sense, right? It's just, how can like you collectively as BC, we all work together to like make Revelstoke a hotspot for metal, because you guys are perfect midway point for all the Alberta bands and all the Vancouver bands and all the interior bands and northern bands. It's just perfect metal spot. It's just like, I see it and I'm like, man, it needs to be here. So it's kind of a cool thing that you guys are like building this scene. And it's a hard grind. Like, I don't imagine it's easy at all to try and build a metal scene in a place that's like constantly got so many different seasons of, right? There's no music season. It's like, so it's like, when can you cater to that? But I think you guys like getting your album out and pushing down towards Kelowna, Revelstoke, or not Revelstoke, but like Vernon and Salmon Arm and Vancouver. I think getting you guys on the island would be key too.
That'd be huge.
There's a lot of really good bands out there that I feel like you guys would vibe with.
Yeah, I'm friends with a bunch of bands from Van actually. Nice. And like, it would be great to go down and play with them. Because
I'm just trying to think of. There's one other progressive band. As soon as I had it, ADHD brain lost it. No! Vessel. Have you guys heard of Vessel?
I have not.
I'm going to introduce you to Vessel. It's an instrumental band with these really good buddies of mine. And like, Farm, you guys and Vessel, sold out show right there. Like, that's how I see it. Like, that's like, there's like these little pockets of bands that just like, got to get you guys in and then just like, it's gone. So I think that I want to help build the scene here, kind of a thing. But like, I want to see you guys. I haven't got to hear any of the recordings yet. I think Jesse may have sent me one, but I didn't get a chance to listen to it. And I'm like, I want to hear it. And I'm like stoked because I want to hear what Revy's got. I've never heard it before, so it's cool. As you guys work through this album, what's your favorite song? What has been your favorite track to record, and or was it one that you expected?
It was one that surprised me because I'd have to say it was Breakthrough, but it was not Breakthrough for a long time. But just the way that one came together and like the bass lines in it, love. Like, it's a really, really great track. I love Breakthrough.
That's awesome. It's funny how that seems to work out when... Did you have a favorite song moving into it? Like going in, you're like, this could be the song that I love the most?
Moving into it, it was Cradle. Because Cradle to the Grave was another really nice one with a nice bass line and everything and has nice rhythm to it. That one was my favorite going into Breakthrough. And then as soon as that one was done, I was like, no, it's the bass lines in this one that...
And watch, now it's going to be another one that you record that you haven't finished yet.
That's how it happens.
Exactly, right? Do you ever find that you look back... Do you take breaks from listening to the songs you finished?
Yeah.
And when you go back after like a couple weeks, do you find like you get goosebumps and you're like, this is me?
It's definitely happened more than once.
It's a good feeling.
It really is.
And it's like, to get to that point where you're finally getting an album, even just to hear it, it's not finished, but like to hear what you're creating from the listener's perspective is almost a weird thing. Yeah. Because then you start to like nitpick it. And like, have you been really hard on yourself?
I've been extremely hard on myself recording this album.
I was going to say, like, I think that's like the hard thing too, because like as musicians, we're really hard on ourselves. But when it comes to recording, we're like terrible people to ourselves and to our bandmates. I'm like, I know that me and Andy have like not bickered, but when he tells me that he knows I can do it better, there's days where I'm like, I can't do it better. So
need the break and to come back to it.
Do you guys ever have that where you're just like,
every once in a while we'll need that break, come back to it and like take a day and figure it out, but it's funny coming back and then just crushing it that first time on the second day when you come back and you're like, couldn't have done that the other day, but it just break helps.
Does it help having somebody else who is a creative ear, like a producer, that's not part of like the creation aspect, but hears it from a total different outlet?
Yeah, that's huge having that, because Caden doing our sound and stuff is absolutely, it's a huge part, having him being like, this is like,
member but not a member.
Exactly,
right? Yeah.
The member but not a member, but it's the member. He's pulling a lot of weight.
That's like what you need, right? And those are the people that, like I was saying earlier, you kind of got to build your team around, and they naturally gravitate towards you. Like, it's usually the people that have always been around your circle that are really good for it. And especially as a producer, like, to have somebody who is willing to not only tell you like, hey, you can do way better, but also be able to like toss out ideas, I feel is like such a valuable thing, because I'm very guilty with our band to be like, oh, I know your parts are good, I trust you what you do, but I'm not going to dissect them.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I feel like I should.
Right?
Just because, like, as a friend, I should be breaking down their parts as well and like giving them honest opinions and not just being like, I think it's good. And I think that I've been guilty of doing that before. But to have that honest opinion from somebody who's outside of the box is almost more valuable than having like another member in the band that plays an instrument, because it is
has a different ear for it, hears it a little differently.
But because you're hearing, what you guys are hearing is the creation of what you know,
exactly,
and the years of playing the same songs, and like coming into it and hearing it from a different, like even subtle little things like, oh, I'm gonna put delay on this backing vocal, and it just like, you don't notice that it delays for 30 seconds into the recording until like 2 months down the road, and you're like, oh my god, that ear candy is amazing.
It was
and
all
it's
the
all
things
his idea, right?
Yeah, exactly. All the little things that I didn't even like think of, but like as soon as they were in there, it's like, that's perfect. And like,
and producers are magic, and that's kind of where I think there's a unique blend between musicians and their producers, and I think also why you see a lot of bands work with the same producer multiple times, or go through a million producers, because there's some terrible ones out there, right? So what's like, have you found that over your career as a musician and going from punk to metal, what's been the biggest, what has been the biggest challenge for you to overcome musically? Has it been like, was it overcoming, pushing yourself to a different style and learning something new? Or were there specific moments in time that were just like, where you wanted to give up on your instrument? So I feel like all musicians will hit a point where they could, you just want to smash the guitar because you're struggling so hard, but like to push through that is it takes a strong person to like keep pushing yourself. It's like skateboarding or snowboarding, right? Like if you fall down on concrete and you get up and keep skateboarding, it takes a really strong person to do so. And to like constantly like put yourself through, like, for example, like the amount of shows I've played to empty houses. Like there's been many times where I've been like, I should probably quit this. But just like that love, it's like, you can't. If there was any advice that you were going to give a young bass player, I'm not even going to say musician because we need more bass players in the world. So if you were going to give a young bass player any advice as to how to pick up an instrument and start a career in music, what would it be?
Find a buddy who drums. Because honestly, that's one of the first things I did when I got a bass, is found a buddy who drummed and figured it out and like came up with some nice like rhythm stuff like that. But then after that, just picking it up every day and just playing it, and it was Practice is key. And like but having people to play with as a bass player is huge. And
There's a valuable point. I think, like, especially, it's a point that I've never actually heard yet, as like talking to other bass players. Is playing with other people, because most people are like, practice by yourself, like practice. But to play with other people is a very valuable. You need to. It's kind of like working in a different industry, you know. Like you kind of got to work with coworkers, but there's going to be tons of different coworkers, and you kind of got to learn how to work well with every single one. That was a very really good piece of advice that I haven't actually had anybody say yet before. So I want to thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
It's been incredible sitting and chatting with you, and
appreciate it.
I can't wait to, like, once the camera's off, get to hear you guys' stuff. It's gonna be super fun.
Can't wait to show you.
Awesome. We'll catch you guys next time.